Good morning, everybody. This is Jeffrey Jansen. Welcome to the first day of December. It is Saturday, December 1st, 2018. I want to welcome each and every one of you to making it to December 2018. Today is a Saturday, which is kind of unusual for me going live with a motivational Saturday call, but understand this. I got a couple things going on today I want everybody to know about before I get motivated. Tonight, we've got a thing down in Hannibal where we got the Wreaths Across America truck with J.D. Walker, whose son was in the Marine Corps, who was killed by a sniper, which is a local hero of ours. He will be in the parade with the Gully transportation truck, going up to Maine, picking up wreaths, and going to Arlington National cemetery. Now, what I want to do is, I would like to tell everybody what the idea of motivation is and why do I get behind everything when I do motivation. Motivation does not mean you have to be in a good mood. Motivation does not mean that the world is treating you right and everything is peachy keen. When you go out to get motivated, when you go out there to get energized and pumped, the motivation can go either way you want. But the difference is you've got to get motivated in order to make it through your day every day. Now, a lot of people, they do like a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but they never follow through 100% on anything thinking, I'm just going to save a little bit back. Well, here's the problem with that. If you save a little bit back, that little bit extra is what puts you over the top. That little bit that, if you don't go all out all the time, and a lot of people say, oh, you can't do that all the time. Yeah, you can. You know why? Because if you go out and give it 100%, that means next time you can go even more. Your body's used to basically pushing itself to the limits. Motivation is no different. If I'm going to run a race, but I'm going to save a little bit back for the other race, you might not get to run the next race because you lost, because you got beaten by the 100 yards, Everything goes down to the last 100 yards. In the Marine Corps, we're taught about the last 100 yards. Motivation is all about the last 100 yards, the last little bit you do. You got to go till you can go no more, and then you got to push yourself a little bit more. Now, what does that mean for you? Now, here's how I'm going to explain it to you, okay? If you go out and if you pop a bag of popcorn. Now, Brian Carruthers does this all the time, but I want you to understand, and I think this is one of the easiest ways to explain, because we all know what a bag of popcorn is that we put in a microwave, right? If that bag of popcorn has to be in the microwave for 2.5 minutes, that's it, just 2.5 minutes, and all you've got to do is put it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes, okay? This is motivation. You're excited because you get to smell that popcorn. You're excited because you get to pop that bag of popcorn. So you put it in the microwave. All right. You set it for 2.5 minutes, or you push the popcorn button on the microwave. However, within 10 seconds, you hurry up and go push stop. Okay? And then the reason why is because the phone rings. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, I got to hear the phone. I don't want to hear the microwave while I'm on the phone. So you push stop. Okay? You get off the phone, you go back over to the microwave. You push start again. Well, all of a sudden, somebody's at the door. So a minute in, the popcorn has not started popping yet, but all of a sudden you stop that microwave. Okay, so then you go answer the door, you talk to your buddy for a little bit. So then you go back and you start popping the popcorn again. Now it's in for another minute. Well, the problem is it hasn't started popping yet, but you stop it because now you got to go somewhere. Okay, and then you come back. You start it again. The popcorn starts to get hot, but now all of a sudden, kids need you, so you push stop. All of a sudden the family needs you, push stop. All of a sudden something else comes up, you push stop. Stop and go, stop and go. The problem is, your 2.5 minute bag of popcorn has now been in that microwave for a week, and it still has not popped a single kernel because you just waited till the very last second. Right when it gets ready to pop, you stop it every time. That's how we are in our life. Every time we do something in our life, this is what people don't understand. We are the kernels of popcorn in the bag, okay? Every time something comes up, every time we want to do something, every time we go for a job, every time we go for a sale, every time we go to get a mission accomplished, a job done, every time we want to go see our friends or family, something else comes up. Something takes away and distracts us from what it is we want to do. And so every single time, something that would only be minute, like something is calling your sister, or calling your brother, calling your mom or dad, calling a family member, being there for somebody, takes time. And it only takes a few minutes to do. The problem is, something always comes up. And then you wonder why the bag of popcorn doesn't pop. You said, look, I kept it in. It's been in for a week. It has not popped a single kernel. Why did it not pop a single kernel? Because there was no consistency. There was no follow through. There was nothing that caused it to get warm long enough to be able to burst out of its shell to form this magnificent buttery goodness that you want to eat. So what makes you think that motivation is any different? You can go and go and go. You can run and you could do a mile run, but all of a sudden you stop at the very end, you didn't complete it. All of a sudden you pick up the phone to call somebody, I'll wait another day, and you don't do it. All of a sudden you go in and you decide, I'm going to go for this job, but I'll do an application instead of a resume. All of a sudden you're doing everything. You're not letting the heat get to that kernel of popcorn to pop. And what would normally take 2.5 minutes has now taken a lifetime. And when you get mad and you get upset and you're blaming everybody but yourself and your temper's up there and you're getting mad at every little thing, every single way, you have to understand it's no one's fault but your own. You keep opening the microwave. You keep stopping everything right before it has the chance to burst out. If you are trying to help your friends with dreams and build their dreams and you're wanting your dreams to be built, but you keep giving up, it's because you're not giving the follow through and the consistency it takes to heat up those kernels to let them pop. Now, start over again. What happens when you put that bag of popcorn in the microwave for 2.5 minutes? And exactly 2.5 minutes, and you let it in there the whole time? All of a sudden, you start smelling that buttery goodness. All of a sudden, those kernels start breaking out of their shell. You start hearing pop, 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 pop. You don't even want to stop. You don't want it to stop. You want to keep listening to those kernels pop because you want to see, now you're waiting to see if it slows down because it's going great. Now you don't want to touch it because it's popping. Thing about it is you wanted to quit before anything even popped. But once it started popping, you like to listen to it. You like to hear it. You like to smell it. Okay? Problem is you don't want to keep it in too long because it'll burn. That's what life is like. If you don't have follow through, if you don't have consistency, if you start treating your friends like crap, if you don't forgive yourself, if you don't apologize, everything is like that bag of popcorn that you have in the microwave right now. If you don't give it enough time, it'll never pop. If you don't let the warmth and the heat get to those kernels of popcorn, it'll never be consistent and it'll never pop. If you leave it in too long, which is another talk for another day, it'll burn, overheat, and smell like crap. But if you give it the right amount of time and you give it your best effort, then of course it's going to pop. It's going to be great. But you got to give it consistency. You got to keep seeing it over and over again, even when you're so tired and weak and you can't get it. The last 100 yards of any mission, of any race, of any challenge is the hardest. Why? Because that's when everybody's pushing their hardest. You can't push your hardest at the beginning of a race because then you'll wear yourself out and you'll never finish the race. But that last yard where you see the finish line, you have to see it all the way through to the end. All the way through to the end is what you need to do. Now I got to figure out where I'm going in here. So anyway, hope everybody's having a great day. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you soon, and I'll talk to everybody later. Y'all have a great day now, and I will see everybody later. I got to get back to work.